News that's coming in. It is the United States that has now charged billionaire Gautam Adani with defrauding investors, hiding a plan to bribe Indian officials. Indian businessman Gautam Adani, who's one of the world's richest person, has now been indicted in the United States on charges that he duped investors by concealing that his company's huge solar energy project in the subcontinent was being facilitated by an alleged bribery scheme. The Congress has now slammed this, and they said the indictment of Gautam Adani and others by the Securities and Exchange Commission of the United States vindicates the demand that the Indian National Congress has been making since January 2023, that there has to be a joint parliamentary committee that should investigate into all the schemes that have been launched by Gautam Adani. My colleague Rohit Sharma is now joining me from the United States. Rohit, this is a big thing coming in from the United States. They are now saying, in fact, the Securities and Exchange Commission now pointing fingers at Gautam Adani.
Absolutely. I think it's very shocking that they were able to do this today in the sense that it is still alleged. There are no evidence, hard evidence that were presented, but it's still alleged that, he was able to raise millions of dollars. And he was doing so to be able to make sure that his project gets through and it gets approved by Indian authorities. And it talks about $250 million that allegedly was paid or was going to be paid to Indian officials in the government. So a very, very shocking indictment from Security and Exchange Commission. Also, the FBI was involved. And they also have filed in a court document. And basically, there's a civil aspect to it and there's a criminal aspect to it. And look, just to break down for our own viewers, there is a Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, which is called FCPA. And at the heart of it is Gautam Adani's company allegedly raising money in the US and using that money to bribe officials in India. And I think that is what, the violation of the law is. And this is very, very interesting because it's been going on for 2 years, as you stated out. But for them to go and file it and, name Gautam Adani is definitely sending a lot of shockwaves here in the US.
Not just in the US, we will see ramifications of this even in India, because we are seeing the main opposition parties in India. Specifically the Congress party has been time and again saying that now it is the parliament that now needs to make sure that all the schemes and the workings of Adani are investigated. And with this response coming in from the United States, it seems like we will have a ripple effect.
It definitely will. I just...
Rohit, please stay on with me. Manikam Tagore from the Congress party is now joining me. Mr. Tagore, a very, something which the BJP has been saying is right, but the Congress has been saying that this should be made since January 2023, has been calling for a joint parliamentary committee investigation. Do you believe the Congress will now go ahead with the demand for the JPC?
Yeah, we had been very clear from the beginning that Gautam Adani's way of doing business has many kind of support from Mr. Modi, and the way they had been doing it here in Gujarat as well as across India for the past 10 years, or completely India's wealth has been given to Adani and its group. And we had been asking for many times we had raised it in Parliament for a JPC, particularly previous one session completely got washed out because of JPC from the India Alliance parties. And now after this thing also, the US Security and Exchange Commission of US indicates the demand that Congress party has been making since January 2023 for a JPC. And regarding the Modi and Adani scams, Congress party has asked many questions about various dimensions of these scams and the nexus that has been existed between Mr. Modi and Mr. Adani. These questions have remained unanswered. The SEC's actions also cast poor light on the manner in which Indian counterpart, namely the SEBI, has gone about investigating violations of securities. And we all know that for the PAC meeting, where the SEBI chairman was called as a witness, the BJP members started to They only accepted it first for the SEBI chairperson to be called. But BJP members then protested and they justified her absence from appearing before a parliamentary committee, which has never been like this. These kind of violations of securities and other laws by Adani and abject failure to hold the group to account for the source of its investments and shell companies continues.
Right.
And the Congress party has been demanding for a JPC into the transactions of Adani Group, which is leading to growing monopolization in key sectors of Indian economy. And we will continue to rise for the JPC in India and in the coming parliament session also. Congress party will continue to raise them.
Well, this is a very important point that you are making, Mr. Tagore. Will the demand for the JPC be still on? Because come Monday, we will see the beginning of the parliamentary session.
Yeah, Congress party will continue to raise these issues because Congress party in the Maharashtra campaign, in Jharkhand campaign and others, we have been, our Congress party's campaign has been that the way Adani has been provided safe passage and easy access to all the wealth of India, particularly real estate, all kind of rules have been broken, and the way they have been handing over, Modi has been handing over the wealth of India is a great issue for India as well as for every Indian citizen. Therefore, we will continue to rise for a JP.
Thank you, Mr. Tagore. Manikam Tagore, Congress MP, now saying that they will once again raise the demand that there should be a joint parliamentary committee that should look into all the transactions that are being done by the Adani Group.